Hey you guys, welcome my weirdos, I'm Marnie, and today I'm going to introduce you all to all things witchy, weird and wonderfully wacky. This podcast is the Coven Files, and you're in for a treat, let me tell you. So gather around the fireplace or cauldron, whatever tickles your fancy. That is a very British phrase. Yes, I am British, if you couldn't already tell, I am. Not much to say about it other than, as I say, I'm British, I'm holding a cup of tea. Isn't that cliche? Might as well have Big Ben's bells chiming in the background. That's really hard to say, actually. Big Ben's bells chiming. Try say that 3 times fast. Anyway, grab a snack, grab a beverage of choice. I won't judge. I've got coffee. I think I said it was tea a minute ago. It's coffee. I need it because this is my 3rd filming session today. And I'm feeling tired. Plus, somehow, some mystical, magical somehow, I have got a cold in the summer. I don't know how. Today it is a very rainy, miserable summer's day in the UK. Classic mid-July move from the UK, very bipolar. Lana Del Rey would be embarrassed. Actually, probably quite fair, to be fair. She loves a good, cozy vibe, doesn't she? But I thought, normally I'd be annoyed that, it's mid-July in the UK. Of course it's raining. But no, I'm actually quite happy. It gives quite a scenic background view for myself. The ASMR sounds you're experiencing right now, I bet you can hear the rain. Maybe some cars. Maybe some trees. Maybe some birds. All sound pretty good to me. Anyway, cozy up because we are about to dive into the wonderful world that is my brain. Yeah. Today's episode is obviously the first episode of my podcast, and I thought what better way to start a podcast than a little get to know me, because I could be sat here telling you stories and you guys are like, who the hell is this woman? Don't know her name, don't know where she comes from, but I like her videos. That's alright for some. That is alright, but I like to give a little bit of context. My brain is honestly quite the scary place. I think my YouTube channel is kind of a little bit of a summary of what is inside my brain. Because the way I see it, I've got 2 sides. 2 very different sides, okay? My new routine on YouTube, is now Mondays are Marnie Mondays, where it's all things kind of me, I guess. So you'll have makeup videos, you'll have get ready with me's, you'll have hauls, shopping videos, vlogs, travel vlogs, get to know me's, tips, Q&A's, all that lifestyle kind of beauty related jazz. And then at the end of the week on Fridays, you'll get Freaky Fridays, which is where I'll either drop a podcast episode, a paranormal investigation, or something spooky, something horror related, and I can't wait. It is going to be such a fun new little thing on the channel, because then there really is going to be a video for everyone. Gets me posting content I actually enjoy and I actually like, because there's nothing worse experiencing burnout as a creator, because you've fallen out of love with the process of creating, and it causes, sorry, I told you I've got a cold, I'm losing my voice, I'm trying my best. But yeah, the burnout while trying to create is just the worst. And once you're in that pit, sometimes you only get deeper and it's hard to get out. But yes, you see that, I'm a Libra. I am a Libra. Eventually I do want to do a full episode where we dive into the world of horoscopes and zodiacs, because I do find it fascinating. However, I'm not someone who's gonna read my horoscope and decide that is my life and let it dictate the way I live my life, because that's just stupid. But it's fascinating to, connect the dots sometimes with certain things that aren't fully known to humans, but it's fun to believe, so it's all just fun and games really when you think about it. So to break it up quickly for those who do know about zodiacs and horoscopes, I am a Libra sun, a Leo rising, and an Aquarius moon. So quite the mix there. Quite the mix. I do tend to think I have the kind of Leo features, I wouldn't want to say. You know, I have the very almond shape eyes and the lots of hair, very thick hair. I don't really know too much about Aquarius, however I do know your moon sign says a lot about your emotions and how you deal with like emotions and relationships and things. And I do know that Aquarius moons tend to shut their emotions off from the world, which I'm a little bit guilty of. I am guilty of that, I'm sorry that I am. I don't really like to talk about my emotions, really, just to anyone and everyone. I will select a very, very few amount of people that I talk to them about because, I don't know, I just don't feel the need to. I don't need to feel the need to. I just kind of want to talk to you guys about what's coming every Friday, because there will be a lot of different content coming, and I don't want you guys to be like, I thought this was a podcast thing. It is, but it's also kind of on Mondays. My channel is Marnie HQ, Marnie headquarters, you know, but then on Fridays it's going to be the Coven Files, Freaky Fridays, whatever you want to call it. So I will, you know, literally be having like almost two halves to the channel, which I know people will be like, why not just make another channel in my, because I've worked hard on this one I've got. Okay, I've worked so hard on this one I've got, and I don't really, sorry, my dog's barking downstairs. Let's give her a minute. I've worked so hard on this channel I've had for 5 years now, and I don't really just want to chuck it all away just to start a new project. And it might not even do well, but if it does well, then that's great. It's going to grow what I've already kind of made for myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, on Fridays, I take big inspiration from a lot of other YouTubers for my content, because YouTube, I'm scared to say, but I do feel like sometimes it is a dying platform, and that sucks to say. But I just don't feel there's like any inspiration or creativity on YouTube anymore. It's all the same. People using the same AI thumbnails. Drives me insane. I am guilty though. I have done it a few times, but it's just like it lacks the human connection that YouTube was originally intended for. You know, a lot of people just see it as a money making thing now, and that's it. So there's not actually a lot of YouTubers I watch anymore. I mean, I watch the ones I've kind of watched since the beginning of YouTube in a way. But I'm going to be doing a lot of different kind of not horror, I hate saying horror because it's not. It's just more spooky, kind of scary, unexplained things, I guess. It will be a lot of, I will be talking about, you know, there'll be some podcast episodes where I talk about the unexplainable, paranormal proof, reacting to videos, reacting to proof of whatever, covering true crime cases, unsolved cases. Even some days I might even play a horror game or two, because I wouldn't say I'm a gamer, but I do love a good jump scare. We could even, like, you know, do horror Q&As, like quizzes, whatever it is. I just really, really love and am fascinated by the all spooky scene, and I want to put that, because I'm fascinated by it, and because I'm so intrigued, I love learning more and more about those topics. So why not learn it with you guys, if that makes sense? So we will be telling ghost stories, true crime cases, unsolved mysteries, all the unexplainable weird things, reacting to videos of so-called proof, or videos where you guys send in your stories. I want to do all different kind of episodes. So every week is something new. I want to do a few paranormal investigations. I do have a few planned and lined up for October time, which is really exciting, and it's perfect timing. So yeah, if you do fancy a bit of that, then please do subscribe and join the family and get notified when it comes out, because I just can't wait for the content that's coming. I feel so much more inspired and ready to do this. Some weeks I think, oh, I really want to post a beauty related video, and then one week I'm like, oh, but I fancy, you know, a bit of, you know, a spooky video. Then I'm like, oh, but that's not the target audience I'm trying to reach. Well, now I can do it both. I do have a 9-to-5 job in education, so sometimes that can clash a bit with YouTube, because obviously I've got to prioritize the one that pays my bills. And as of yet, YouTube, I don't really earn much yet, but soon. Watch this space, watch this name. However, it is officially summer, so I have the summer off, which is pretty damn cool. So I'm literally spending the summer just filming and getting content out to you guys, because when I am filming, creating and just doing, I am my most happiest, passionate self, because it's what I love to do, and hopefully one day I can take that into a career for myself and do all the things I've dreamt of doing with you guys. Because I think one of my biggest fears growing up was ending up alone, but with a platform like this you can never actually truly be alone, and I think that's a pretty impactful thing. So I just want to create a family and a community of people who just inspire and uplift each other. You know, this isn't for the money, obviously it's a lovely little bonus. I just do it because it actually genuinely sparks my creativity, makes me happy. I get to hear and see from people all over the world who enjoy the same things as I and enjoy my content that I'm putting out, and that's anytime I get a comment saying that someone loves my videos, they love what I do, it genuinely melts my heart, because that's all I want, is just to inspire people by doing what I love. Because growing up I did have a tough time in school with like bullies and just people just being awful to each other, like really just awful. I struggled with it for a very long time, and I struggled with mental health a lot, and I decided to take myself out of school, take myself out of the situation. I actually spent my last year of high school homeschooling myself, which was a crazy experience. I think I genuinely did learn more in that year, not just education wise. I learned more about myself, I learned more about what I wanted, what I dreamed of doing in my life, what impact I wanted to make in the world. Like that year I basically spent it alone, because you know, all my friends were at school every day. Me and my family lived in the middle of nowhere, like I mean the middle of nowhere. We were kind of quite isolated from all the surrounding villages, so I would genuinely spend most days just alone. But I was fine with that, I enjoyed that. Because when I was alone, I could be my authentic self, not putting on a fake face, fake smile for people who didn't even appreciate my presence. So that year was genuinely, like, I can easily say I have no regrets. It was a tough time because I had a lot of learning to do, again, not just education-wise, but physically and mentally. I, worked hard enough, got myself my dream course in college doing art, and I did that for 3 years, and I created some quite cool pieces. Had some artwork put in a gallery at one point, which was a really cool experience. Took trips with, my class, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool time. I met some amazing people as well, really amazing people, who I still talk to and cherish, so that any of them are watching, hi. And in between that, when I actually left school, I started making YouTube videos. I didn't publish the first few, they were just kind of like for fun and for me. And then I was like, you know what, I want to take it seriously. I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to do this. I have nothing to lose. I don't go to school anymore, so I can't get bullied, in person. And at the time, I genuinely had no confidence. There was nothing. I was a very shy girl, wasn't known by many, kept myself to myself and just got on with it. I heard from, my friends that were still at school that my YouTube videos were known by quite a few, and my channel was known by quite a few. What was said about it, I don't know. I don't really care. All I can say is, if there was a high school reunion, I would happily decline the invite. Alright? That says enough about my high school experience. And I found it quite funny, actually, because a lot of people thought I left because I was pregnant. I moved away. I don't know, went missing. I was just so shy and so quiet and known by like so little, that when I kind of left, it was a bit of, oh, where'd that weird girl go, where'd that quiet girl go, kind of thing. But I actually found that quite funny when I left. People were making all these accusations and assumptions of what happened to me, when I was actually just in my bedroom filming YouTube videos, and I still am. So some things never do change, and that's sometimes good, because I quite enjoy what I do. So then when I left college, I started taking YouTube a bit more seriously. However, I was still very inconsistent, because I reckon if I stay consistent throughout the whole time, the last 5 years I've done YouTube on and off, if I stay consistent, I think I could have been quite far by now. But everything happens for a reason. I'm where I'm at for a reason, so yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I've been through quite a lot in the last few years, and I kind of pushed YouTube to the side because of it, but I'm now back, better than ever. I do have a few updates from my last video, if you have seen it. This video. No. That one. That's the side I'm looking for. I'll do a video about that on Mondays, because obviously, like I said, Mondays are about Marnie, Fridays are about all things freaky and spooky. Obviously, this episode, I kind of wanted you to dive inside my brain, which sounds very weird, but I kind of just wanted you guys to get to know me. There's 10 questions here that I'm about to answer, and I would love it if you guys answered them in the comments as well, because I'd love to get to know you guys as much as you're getting to know me, because that's kind of what this is all about, you know, creating a family and a community. So question 1 is, what is my favourite movie? My favourite movie, you can actually, wait. I've got a mirror here, obviously, as you can see, and if you know that poster, I love you so much already. You see that poster? That is, of course, the Practical Magic poster. That is my all-time favourite movie. I love Practical Magic so much. Like, it's just such a comfort, cozy movie to me. Horror-wise, the Conjuring universe, 100%. I absolutely love the Conjuring movies. My favourite one is The Conjuring 2, Enfield, of course. They are my comfort horror movies. I love them. My really cute Japanese figure of Edward Scissorhands. It's a Japanese like toy company. I don't know what it's called, but you can change his head, hair, and hands. I put him with his little kebab hands because it's summer and it's cute. Because Edward Scissorhands is 100% my favourite Tim Burton movie as well. So yeah, top 3 favourite movies for me would be Practical Magic, The Conjuring universe, and Edward Scissorhands. Easy. Question 2, what is my favourite kind of music? Now, again, there is multiple sides to me. I love all kinds of music. Not the biggest on rap, especially UK rap. UK rap I cannot stand. I'm sorry, Central C and H, but it's not my cup of tea. American rap, you know, like Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, love a bit of that. But then I love R&B, I love pop, I love pop rock, I guess, you know, Paramore. I did have my classic emo stage, might still be in it. I have my days. Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, they were the classics. Paramore I still love so much. To see them live, oh, I love it. But as of right now, the Justin Bieber Swag album has just come out this week, and it's on repeat. It is on repeat. I've actually filmed a couple covers that I've uploaded to TikTok. If you want to hear me sing them, go check it out, link in bio. However, my official favourite artist would have to be Jhené Aiko. I love Jhené Aiko so much. She is amazing. Her voice is soothing. And her kind of music is the music that actually like touches your soul. Ways by Jhené Aiko is, I want the lyrics tattooed from head to toe. It is a spiritual awakening in a song, basically. I love it. But of course I love my Lana Del Rey. I love my Madison Beer. I love Madison Beer so much. I saw her live last year on her spinning tour, and it was a magical night to say the least. That night was absolutely incredible. I met so many amazing people that night. I went alone. I was crazy enough to go to my first ever concert alone, 3 hours away from home in London. Yeah, I had a hotel to myself. I travelled down by myself. I met some people online who said they were going to be there. And yeah, I had a really lovely evening with some really amazing people who I still talk to and were blessed to meet. Question number 3, who are my idols / inspirations? Now, of course, gotta go with my parents. What is that beeping sound? It's outside. I don't know what that is. I am sorry if you hear it. My parents, of course, have inspired me my whole life. I'm a very big dreamer, and I've had a lot of ideas that are probably wacky and so crazy, and they've been like, but they've gone with me. They've fought for me through it, and I couldn't thank them more. But I would say Jhené Aiko is a very big inspiration. Her music is just like therapy. Her music is actually therapy for me. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I will literally go in the shower, cleanse myself, and just stick on a mix of Jhené Aiko, because her music genuinely does heal you. I don't know what it is. There's magic. There's some witchy magic in there. Question number 4, what is my favourite ghost story? As a teenager, I was a sucker for a good Reddit thread, Twitter thread, going through them on YouTube, and specifically, I've been watching this YouTuber for about I want to say over 10 years, and I literally mean over 10 years. She was one of the first people I watched on YouTube. Her name is Loey Lane. She tells stories in just the most relaxing way. Like, I used to literally, call me crazy, but I do fall asleep to people talking about true crime and ghost stories. Sorry. But her voice is one of the ones I love to fall asleep to because she is so relaxing. And the way she just, like, tells a story gets you hooked. And sometimes I'll be just there at night like, really? Ooh, interesting. The story that I've always just remembered, like, word for word, detail to detail, because I was just so invested in it. And, like, even though it wasn't real, well, it was a Twitter thread. But it's the Dear David story. If you haven't heard of it, then please check out Loey Lane's video of her literally she goes, you know, through every single piece of evidence about the Dear David case, and the way she tells the story and explains it is just... Question 5. What is my aesthetic What is my aesthetic / style? Now, you can see around me, I probably look a bit emo right now. I didn't really think about that, but I am in the corner of my room where all my witchy stuff is, and have struggled with this for years because I've been emo, I've been clean girl, I've been cottagecore, retro, vintage. I do love the 1960s, so I do incorporate that into my style when and where I can. But I would say, like, for a while I thought I was whimsy goth, which I guess you could technically say I am. I would say I have my days. Like, I have my days where I'm really girly girl, where I wear vintage dresses and I'll dress up. And then I have my days where I want to be like a 90s witch. You know, like Willow from Buffy, the Charmed ones, the Owen sisters, the Gilmore Girls. I love, like, that kind of 90s autumn style with a hint of witch thrown in there. That's me. That's me. But then in the spring and summer, I would say, like, kind of Lana Del Rey coded, you know, wearing flowy and, I don't know. I'll put up pictures as I talk so you can get the gist. I would say I do balance a lot between boho and then 90s witch. They kind of shimmy together, you know. About a year ago, I did come to the realization that I don't have a vibe or aesthetic. I am just my own individual person, pretty much. It doesn't have a name yet, but the aesthetic and style of all things hippie, emo, witchy, spiritual, spooky, angelic, ghost loving, 90s witch. That's the Marnie aesthetic. Now, I know this is going to be a big question, and I've already had this conversation a few times on my channel, but people are always very curious about what my belief system is. I do wonder why. I do have a pentagram behind me, and can I just say, because this symbol is something I use, something I have up, something I worship, it does not mean I worship Satan or the devil or Lucifer, whatever you want to call it. I don't worship it. Actually learn, if I turn you this way with it, I'm going to give you a bit of a witchy lesson here, okay? This point is spirit. So the spirit of the soul. It doesn't matter which way around it is, I don't know, but earth, air, fire, water, the 4 elements, and then of course the human element, spirit. Well, not really human, you could have spirit, anything really nowadays. Yeah, it's actually a little worship symbol to the elements, really. So if worshipping nature is satanic, then I guess I'm a Satanist. It does drive me insane. I had this conversation with an old friend a little while ago where the person is a Christian and I was having a conversation with them about religion. You know, I said the word witch by accident. The conversation just completely took a left turn. And I was like, suddenly I was a Satan worshipper. I danced with the devil under the moonlight. I would say my religion is spiritualism. You know, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in my angels. I believe in the universe as a source. I don't believe in a specific god. I believe that there's a god for everything, like the goddess of nature, the goddess of the moon, the god of the sea. You know, that's kind of my... And, you know, people think, oh, that's just mythology. Okay, but so is every other religion. There's no proof, really, of anything. So, you know, what do you want me to say to that? And, you know, with spiritualism, there's no rule book, there's no playbook, there's no, you know, Bible or scroll or anything. It's just, with spiritual people, I always see it as there are always people who seem to have gone through a lot and they've still decided to be good people in this life, because a lot of the times when people go through a lot, they lose themselves and just completely turn to all the negative things they possibly could do. My mum has always been a very spiritual person. She's always, you know, taught me about my angels and to take care of nature and things like that. So she is definitely a big influence in my belief system, but I wouldn't say she controlled it or anything, you know, like she never forced it on me. Because, you know, sometimes with a lot of parents, they do force religion on their children, which sucks. But my parents kind of gave us, me and my brothers, free will to just believe what we wanted to, really. My other two brothers are atheists. They don't believe in ghosts. They don't believe in, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then there's me and my mum, like, oh, praying to our angels every night, doing our tarot cards to get answers, carrying crystals for protection, wishing, you know, luck and blessings on other people, working with nature. And when I journal, I write to the universe. I hate calling myself a witch because it's just been used as such a negative term nowadays, and it's just like, it sucks, really, because the witches a lot of the time are actually the good people. The ones that use herbs, you know, nature's herbs to cleanse people, protect people, take care of people, cure the ill, and that is seen as something bad, and that's just crazy. It's crazy. Because I have never used my craft personally to put ill intent on anyone, because I believe in karma. I've always been taught with karma, if you send something out into the world, the universe, it comes back threefold, 3 times. So if you're sending out good, you're gonna get good come back threefold. But if you're sending out bad, then you're going to have bad come back threefold. So, you know, just send out love and light, and that's all you're going to receive. And that's the blessing of it all. And it is hard to explain to people because obviously there's been just so many years and generations throughout history where witches have been bashed and labelled as the bad ones and the ugly ones and the harmful ones. Obviously in movies they're going to play up to that and things, but the real definition of a witch to me is loving nature and loving your roots and appreciating your ancestors and appreciating the world around you and using it to benefit you in life. And sometimes with witchcraft there are cheat codes, you know, like manifestation. Manifestation is practically spell work. I don't think a lot of people actually realise how much witchcraft is actually in, like, the average household. I hate to break it to you guys, but like the people that have bashed me throughout the years for being so-called witch or whatever you want to call me, I'm just a spiritual person who loves nature really and uses it to protect myself and the ones I love. Like, okay. You know, when I'm using my tarot cards, I'm not speaking to the devil, I'm asking my ancestors and my angels for guidance and advice. When I'm making little potions and spell bags, I'm not sacrificing animals or sacrificing some whatever. I'm literally putting some herbs and crystals and oils in a bag to cleanse, protect, love on my loved ones. Like, here's a little oil that I will literally just dab on my pulse points, and this is for attraction. But apparently that is demonic. So if I spray perfume on my pulse points and say, I'm going to attract so many men doing this, technically love, that's witchcraft too. And I do understand that there are so many aspects and different angles to witchcraft, because obviously you do get your different witches. You get the ones that work with the darker side and ones that work with the lighter side, and then it's like ones that do a bit of both. And personally, I'm just someone who just likes to use it to cleanse myself, protect myself and my family and my loved ones. And if I want to manifest something, then I will do a little witchy woo craft work to invite it into my life. And I also love doing a lot of paranormal work, which some people say is demonic and whatever, but oh my god, it just, sometimes you just want to shake people and be like, open your eyes. Do you not realise how, like, the curtains are literally covered over your eyes, you know? So you're telling me, you know, if a loved one of yours passed away and you went to a psychic medium to hear from them, that's okay. But me doing my little paranormal investigation, talking to just some lost ghosts, lost spirits, whatever, that have a story to tell, that have impacted history, that's demonic. I do understand, you know, like some paranormal investigations do get dark and demonic, but so do humans. Humans can be nasty pieces of work. Like, there are people that worship angels, there's people that worship demons, there's people that worship deities, gods, goddesses, objects. I don't know, a specific person, a thing, nature. Like, none of it's proven to actually exist, but we all still have something to believe in, and that's what kind of keeps us going as humans, you know? And the most fun part about spirituality is people think it can be so dark sometimes, but it's actually just a road to figuring out who you are, worshipping yourself, and realizing that you're kind of the person that you need to worship and you need to love and you need to pray to and pray for, because it's you in this lifetime, you know? So, you know, I don't want to say I'm a witch because so many people take it just the complete wrong way, and I've been proven by people I thought were actually good friends, and they just completely like blindsided me from how they reacted to me saying I was a witch. So I don't want to throw it around because I know a lot of people will have the miscommunication of it. So I just kind of stick with, yeah, I'm a spiritual person. I worship nature, I work with the moon, I love by the moon, I get my energy from the sun. I'm rooted, I'm grounded, protected, cleansed, blessed, abundantly blessed. Damn. I'm just honestly a person who likes to dream a lot, you know. I like to dream and I like to manifest. You know, do you see a problem in that? I think as well, a lot of people with modern witchcraft, a lot of people see it as more of an aesthetic, which I find kind of weird because it's technically a religion, and to have a religion as an aesthetic is just a bit odd. Just a little bit odd. So, you know, you do see a lot of it on TikTok where it's the term witch is thrown around a lot and can be misunderstood easily by people putting out false information. So you can't really blame people for thinking whatever about whatever, because that's their belief system and that's fine. That is fine. So next question is, do I have any hobbies? I have too many. I do art, I paint, I draw, I love photography, I love filming, creating content. I mean, I studied art for 3 years in college, like I said earlier, and loved every moment of it. I just love to create, like creating literally anything, you know. I used to do my own acrylic nails because it gave me that time to just like create on myself, if that made sense, and I love that. For so many years I wanted to be a tattoo artist because the idea of creating art on other people every day was just like such a cool concept to me. Then I fell in love with YouTube and content creation, and my eyes were just whoop, because I love this. I love that I can be my most authentic self and people find joy in that, you know? I love it. Because I literally do film everything and anything, whether it's for myself, for my future self, my future kids, for a loved one, for a memory, or for YouTube or for content creation purposes. I am someone who sees like literally the beauty in anything and everything, and I will take a picture of the side of the road because I think it looks pretty. I also love writing. I love making scripts for YouTube videos. You know, I've got a little, not script, but prompts to keep me flowing here. Growing up, I wrote so many stories as a kid, and I still do write some stories every now and then, whether it's a short story or I slowly piece together chapters. I love writing. I love imagining different worlds and realities. I love writing lyrics as well. I do one day really wanted to dive into the music world, and I love singing. I love writing my own lyrics. I literally have a folder on my phone of like 300 songs I've written and would love to release to the world one day, but I don't know how to produce or play instruments, so unless someone can come help me with that, I'm kind of just writing. I write poems, I write quotes. I genuinely just love creating. Literally anything that's creative, I love doing. I guess you could say I kind of do it all with the hobby side of things. Apart from maths, don't give me a maths equation, please. Sorry, I just pinned my hair back quickly because it's getting hot in here now. The next question is, give us 3 words to describe yourself. That's an interesting one. I would definitely pick the first one as obviously creative, because we just spoke about how I love to create and will use any excuse to create. The next word I would go for is flowy. I know that sounds so weird, but I'm a very just go with the flow person. I love wearing flowy clothes. I love wearing my natural hair. As you can tell by today's video, I don't do stuff with my hair. I don't curl it. I don't really style it every day. I just kind of let the wild mane go wild, I guess. So I just love to, go with the flow, wear flowy, comfy clothes, and just be my most flowy, authentic self. Like, imagine me as like a little leaf in the wind. I definitely think, one of my spirit animals would have to be a bird of some kind, because I see myself just flowing. I'd probably actually be a seagull, because they're quite annoying. And I can be very annoying. And I don't stop talking. And I am actually very much known for my laugh and how loud my laugh is. When you really get me going, I wheeze and I laugh so loud. And I'm known for it by quite a few people. And I guess seagulls are kind of known for that. Yeah. Damn it, I guess I'm a seagull. That sucks. So I need one more word. I still need one more word. Come on. What can I have? I'm going to go weird. Weird, because weird, it can be used in a good way and a bad way. I can be very weird. I'm into all the weird stuff. I would say I'm quite a weird person. I'm not your average person, that's for sure. So we've got, what was it? Creative, flowy, and weird. Love it. So question 9 is, what is my weirdest habit? Now, as you can see, I wear very long acrylic nails, and that is because I was an avid 10-year nail biter. 10 years. Yep. I'm originally from a little city called Southend in Essex, outside of London, and when I was about 12, my family moved up to the countryside of Lincolnshire, and as a 12-year-old kid, hitting puberty, moving across the country pretty much, and going from city life to a very small village life, it was a bit of a, so I relied on my nails to ease the stress and just chomp away. Yep, so for the past, I would say 2 years now, I have worn religiously acrylic nails. Like, literally routine every month. Go get a new set, go get infills. I love them. They just, I do not feel like myself without my nails. I don't know what it is. I literally went a few months ago without nails, and I was just like, I don't feel like myself. I also have really short, stubby hands. So the acrylic nails make them look a bit fancier and elongated, But I wouldn't say that's weird, because a lot of people bite their nails. Let's be real. I know you do it. I would say I'm not a medium or a psychic. I am an empath. Like, when we get further into the podcast, I will talk about my so-called spiritual gift. But I'm not a medium or a psychic. Don't claim to be. I'm an empath, and I feel the difference in energies. I feel emotions too deeply, and I can almost sometimes walk into a room, especially if the place is haunted, and I will feel the energy of what happened in the room. I find that really hard to explain and describe, but there was one time I was doing a paranormal investigation. I went to York for a family holiday, a little weekend away, and of course, me being me, I asked if we could go to the very haunted York jail, and I was probably about 15. Yeah, I would say 15, 16 when we went on this trip, and at this point I was just kind of opening up to the whole witchcraft and spiritual side of things, and we were walking through the part of the museum where it's kind of back in time. It's basically everything, even the people dressed up. It's like been in the 1800s, and it's very weird, very weird. And because everyone's kind of dressed up in the 1800s clothes, you don't know who's human and who's a ghost. I was looking around thinking, is my hand about to go through you? I'm not going to try because that'd be weird, but... And I just remember I caught so many weird things in that place. So many weird things. We went to Dick Turpin's grave. We went to his jail cell where he was held. You know, the highwayman, Dick Turpin. That was such a good weekend. But this Back in Time museum, you know, everyone, there was, you know, sweet shops where they sold all, you know, humbugs, all the old sweets they'd do back then. And there was like little stores where they recreated scenes from back then. And everyone was drawn to those because obviously tourism, we love to spend a bit of coin. But I was like weirdly drawn to this random blue door in the middle of like this so-called fake high street. And it had literally a couple steps leading up to it, a handrail, and just a blue door. Nothing around it, nothing behind it, just a blue door with a couple steps. Next to it was a plaque, and I remember reading the plaque. Can't remember for the life of me what it said. I wish I took a photo. I literally want to go back there in hopes this blue door is still there, so I can kind of get an idea of what it actually was and why I was drawn to it. But I remember just asking my mum, out of all the photo opportunities there's literally old buildings, there's high streets, there's people dressed up, there's shops, so many photo opportunities. Even like you could climb in a carriage and get your photo taken. So many opportunities for photos. And I said, Mum, could you take my photo in front of this door? And she was like, sure. But a bit weird, but sure. And I had no reason. I was just drawn to it. I stood there and felt something, you know, a little bit. So I just asked her, could you snap a photo of me in front of it? She was like, yeah, sure. Don't know why I wanted it, just did. And then a few days went by. On the way home, you know, the drive home, I was going through all the photos I took of the trip. I will put the photo up so you can see what I'm on about, but I'm pretty sure I caught a ghost on camera. Because, like I said, there was nothing around me. The only person that was in that kind of area was me and my mum. Me and my mum. Everyone else was in the shops, you know, the other high streets that were going round. The rest of them were actually in the jail part, and we were the only ones on this little corner where this blue door was. And, you know, some say, oh, it's the flash on the door. It's not. Because if you actually look, you can see the flash is like by the handle. And then it's almost like a smoky, foggy mist. But if you kind of zoom in, a lot of my friends have said they see kind of, it's really like a torso, so no head, just a torso, and it looks like they're kind of wearing a butler's outfit. While I don't see that, but I see kind of like a man's face, bushy eyebrows, bushy moustache, and he's wearing like almost like a train conductor hat, or like a miner's hat with a torch lamp thing. And to this day, I can't explain it. I can promise you can believe me or not, I don't really care. I can promise you right now I've never edited or altered the photo, because if I was to, I would have fixed my face. Let me tell you that. So yeah, that's a crazy story. But anyway, that was so beyond the point. The question was, what's your weirdest habit? So, like I said, I'm an empath. I sense things, I sense energies, and sometimes I do really sense them too deeply. And a lot of the time I can sense the spirit world, and I will dive deeper into another episode where I kind of do tell you about what I feel, what I experience, and some of my experiences and stories. Obviously, I've just told you one with proof, and there's many more where that came from. But me and my mum do know that the house we currently live in is haunted by something or someone. We don't quite know who. I will happily do a paranormal investigation anywhere and everywhere. Don't care how haunted it is, put me there with some ghost equipment, I will be happy. Alright? But inside the house, I just feel no. Because one, I don't want to invite anything in. Two, I don't want to rile any energy up, you know, any energy that has been suppressed. I don't want to unleash it. because this house, we've lived in quite a few spooky locations, and this house is the first one that's actually felt peaceful and nice. I have so many stories to tell you guys, it's unreal. But this is the house we, like, as a family agreed has been just like the most peaceful and calming house we've lived in. Me and my mum, both quite, you know, spiritually in tuned. We constantly see shadows around the house of things going up and down the stairs. Both of us have had this conversation where whenever we're in the garden, we never feel alone, and we always feel like we're being watched in the garden specifically. Again, I do know some history on my town, however, I'm not going to speak about it now because I'll go on a whole hour tangent, and we're already at an hour, so I'll save you the earache. We will talk about it in another video, I promise you that. I have always just kind of spoke out loud. Like, if I have a question, I will ask my question, even though if it's to myself, for myself. I will speak out loud. I will talk to things that aren't there. Talk to inanimate objects. It's so bad. If I bump into a door, I will apologise to it. I will speak to things, ask it questions, like stupid stuff. And it's a habit because people think I'm talking to myself or like just thinking out loud, and I'm not. I'm quite literally talking to nothing. I will have a full-blown conversation with myself. Like, asking myself questions and then answering myself as if, like, there's 2-3 people having the conversation. I'll look in the mirror and be like, what lipstick shades should I wear today? I'll pull a few up and be like, you're right, yeah, I agree. Nobody said anything. So I guess you can call that my weird habit, is talking to myself and talking to inanimate objects, talking to things that aren't there. And the last question for today's podcast is, who actually am I? I feel like that's good to end it on. My name is Marnie Ella Rose Whiten. Nice to meet you. I'm from Southend-on-Sea in Essex. However, I currently live in the countryside. That's what I was trying to say. I grew up in a very kind of witchy spiritual household, so I've always loved it. Love and light, not dark, remember. I got my first tarot deck at the age of 16. So I would say when I was 16 was when I really like opened myself up to the idea of witchcraft, spiritualism being my belief system. And then finding out what worked for me, because obviously what works for some people in religion doesn't work for other people. And then, you know, found myself through that. I obviously told you about how I homeschooled myself, how I got somewhat bullied throughout my high school years. Obviously did art in college for 3 years where I met so many amazing people. Actually, the majority, if you can see them, that would help. The majority of the tattoos on my body are actually done by my amazing friends. On my course, I won't say any names because privacy reasons, but I met an amazing friend on the course who wants to become a tattoo artist, and I was just like, free reign, please. There was many times during the summer of me being a student at college where me and a bunch of the girls I met would just come into my bedroom and have tattoo sessions while listening to music and doing our like project work. It was like so fun. Oh, so fun. Such fun times. As of right now, I currently do have a 9-to-5 job. I work in education. I won't say what or where, obviously for privacy reasons, but I work in education, so I actually do have the summer off, which means I am going to be unstoppable this summer with the content I'm pulling out because I don't have a 9-to-5 to get in the way until September. I honestly am someone who loves to travel and loves to do things alone. Like, last year, I got my passport and literally my first holiday away was with one of my best friends, and we did it last minute. Flew to Portugal. We did a £99 voucher mystery holiday. We got Portugal. We spent 3 days in Portugal and it was the funnest time. I did vlog it. Go check that out on my channel. I went to my first ever concert alone, the Madison Beer Spinning Tour. I went to that alone. Got called crazy by my family for doing all that kind of stuff alone, but I just, you know, I learn and grow and I'm my best self when I'm alone, honestly. And then from a very young age, I've just loved all things paranormal, which, like I said, I will get into in another video. But I literally have a ghost tattooed on my leg. Again, that was done by my amazing friend I met on the art course. It's my favourite tattoo, my little ghost. He's not really that little though. He's about this big. I would say the size of my face, kind of. I even wrote a book about the paranormal when I was 12. That's how long I've loved and been fascinated by the paranormal for. One of my favourite YouTubers is Sam and Colby. I do love them. Their content always chef's kiss. Sam and Colby for the win. I believe I have covered pretty much everything. If you do have any questions, please leave them down below, because of course I love hearing from you guys. I want to chat with you guys. I want to get to know you guys. So I do hope some of you answered some of the questions down below, because I would love to hear from all of you and just get to know you all as part of a little family and community we can build together. But I did warn you, things were going to get weird, witchy, and a bit wildly curious, we'll say. So don't blame me if you're creeped out. You watched this much into it, so you can't complain now that you're creeped out. But if you are still here, I want to know who the actual OGs, the supportive, loyal ones are. Comment down below a purple heart emoji so I know who the real ones are, because I know not everyone will watch this far to the end. I'm going to make that a thing every episode. At a certain point in each podcast episode will be an emoji to comment, just so I know who actually stuck around. If you want to see my daily content, behind the scenes content, if you want to get involved in future videos, or if you just want to chat, watch more of me, follow me on all my socials. I do them all. I do Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, X, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and then of course YouTube. So I'm pretty much on every platform, so please do follow me on all of them over there. I'm currently doing a lot of lives on TikTok, so again, do follow me over there. I'm very active on TikTok, and on TikTok you'll get more daily content than you will on any other platform. Each week I will let you guys pick the topic of the next week's video. So please do follow me over on my Instagram and my TikTok, as I'll be doing polls over there, so you guys can be involved and pick the video you want to see the most for that week. But obviously you can't do that if you don't follow me, so you know what to do. I would actually love to make a group chat of like all you know, Freaky Friday lovers. Like we can call it like our little coven or something, I don't know, something like that, where we can just chat, give ideas. You guys can give me video ideas, what you want to hear me talk about. You can send me in your stories, your proof of the paranormal, evidence, like crimes and cases you want to hear me cover. And I really do want to get you guys involved in future videos as much as I possibly can, because obviously I have a platform because of you guys, so I do want to get you guys involved more and more in my content. And we can have our own little coven and we can all make friends and family and a little community together. That'd be so cute. So if that sounds like a bit of you, please comment down below. You can comment down below coven, the word coven, or a witch's hat, and I will know to add you to a group chat. When I do it, I don't know. Keep reminding me. And just like that, episode 1 is over. I can't believe that. My throat is very sore right now. I do somehow have a summer cold. How that works, I have no idea, but this is my 3rd video today. This is my 3rd video today. My throat feels like glass is embedded in it. It feels like I have splinters all the way down. But anyway, we'll get through the outro. So, yeah, episode 1 is now officially done. Hopefully this one doesn't delete on me like the last one did, because I actually want to start this, you know. I don't want to delay it anymore. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Please like the video, because apparently it helps me out. Test it. Let's test it. Subscribe if you want to see and hear more of me. I do it all. So there's literally a video for everyone on my channel. And remember what I told you to comment. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you for being patient with me. There's just been so many roadworks in the journey, and it's been tough, but we've got through it. I feel like we're finally here. We're not at our destination yet, but we're enjoying the journey. We're enjoying the journey. We'll just say that. So yeah, that is everything for today. Stay weird, stay beautiful. I love you so much. I will see you Monday for Marnie's Mondays, and next Friday for another weird episode of the Coven Files. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you so much. Goodbye and good night.